Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. No, there was no fuel hike today, just today. But fuel prices are at its precipice and you viewers know it best. But what's also added to all of this is vegetable prices, also skyrocketing with 14 fuel hikes in 16 days. Fuel is up by over 10 rupees in 16 days. The fuel hike is burning a big hole in the pocket of the Aam Aadmi with household budgets completely going for a toss. What's also to know in this is it's aided by a sharp rise in inflation where prices of vegetables like lemons in Delhi are 400 rupees a kilo.
6 घंटे गवर्नमेंट गाड़ी चलाने को देती है 6 घंटे में सिर्फ एक ही चक्कर लग पड़ता है हम बच्चों को कहां लेके जाए दिनों दिन रेट बढ़ते जा रहे हैं एक चक्कर में हम बच्चों को रोटी खिला भी नहीं सकते हम तो
दिन ब दिन ये रेट जो है बढ़ता चला जा रहा है इसलिए ज्यादा एक्सपेंस बढ़ रहा है तो
आपको भी कटौती करनी पड़ रही है एक्सपेंस में
somehow we have to manage so naturally it's a difficulties for all of us
क्या सरकार से उम्मीद है सरकार खुद भिखारी है वो भीख मांगता है मेरे से तो मुझे क्या देगा वो सरकार के पास कुछ नहीं है
महंगाई बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ चुकी है सरकार चाहे बीजेपी की हो चाहे कांग्रेस की हो केंद्र की हो चाहे राज्य की हो सरकार का काम है जनता के हितों का ध्यान रखना जनता के जो बेसिक नीड्स है उनकी को पूरा करना सिलेंडर देखो तो 955 रुपये है आम आदमी के लिए सिलेंडर भरवाना बहुत महंगा हो गया है सब्जियां देखो तो नींबू 300 रुपये किलो हो गए मिर्ची देखो 200 रुपये किलो हो गई है
So 300 rupees in Jaipur, in Delhi. The prices of lemon, like I said, 400 rupees a kilo. Now, it's an uncommon hit for the common man, unprecedented, that's for sure. But let's talk about the politics. The opposition is also up in arms. The Congress on Thursday questioned the conclusion of the budget session of Parliament ahead of schedule, accusing the government of running away from a discussion on price rise and inflation demanded jointly by a combined opposition.
एकमात्र कारण था कि सरकार महंगाई से भाग रही थी क्योंकि सारे विपक्ष की पार्टियां कांग्रेस टीएमसी समाजवादी डीएमके शिवसेना एनसीपी सभी पार्टी आम आदमी सभी प्राइस राइज पर चर्चा चाहते थे सरकार नहीं चाहती थी
Our request would be to see that government of India must make out some policy. They must decrease the petrol price, the diesel price, the domestic price, even toll tax. They should not take the toll price now, toll tax, because all the trucks are coming and they are taking toll tax and they have increased toll tax like anything. So even the agricultural foods are not available to reach the market.
All right, viewers, what I'm going to show you next would have been funny if this wasn't true. It would have been a meme if it really wasn't true. Because what really happened in Chennai, and I'm going to get you these visuals here, it was a wedding, and what the gift that the couple got on their wedding is right behind me, 2 liters of petrol. Like I said, it would have been funny if it wasn't actually true, because petrol in Chennai, viewers, is retailing close to 120 rupees a litre. This couple, when they got married, as their wedding gift, got 2 liters of petrol. But let's now also take you to what it actually looks like in terms of each city and state and where petrol stands. Let's quickly close in and I'm going to get you where each state stands in terms of how and where petrol is retailing at what cost. Well, in the national capital, petrol, viewers, is retailing at 105.41 rupees a litre. Diesel is retailing at 96.67 rupees a litre. From Delhi, let's move on to Mumbai. Petrol, viewers, is retailing in Mumbai at 120.51 rupees a litre, while diesel has also breached the century mark at 104 rupees a litre. Kolkata, petrol is at 115.12 a litre, diesel at 99.83 rupees a litre. So this is what it looks like in mega cities where fuel prices stand. But like I said, you know, when life gives you lemons, you usually make lemonade, but that's also quite impossible right now in various cities of India, because lemons are retailing at 400 rupees a kilo and chilies are at 120 rupees a kilo. Usually one would get them free with vegetables, but no more. I want to cut across right now to our panelists. What is the government doing? Does the government actually have, an action plan where inflation comes into question? I have Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, MP, Rajya Sabha from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Joining me from the Congress is Shama Mohamed, spokesperson Congress. And in the studio with me very shortly would be my colleague Syed Zarabi, managing editor, Business Today. But, Mr. Zafar Islam, I'd like to begin with you. Does the government actually, all right, we don't have Dr. Syed Zafar Islam. We're going to be with her in just about a minute. Shama Mohamed, your party today accused the government of running away from a debate in Parliament on inflation, on price rise. It's not just you, the joint opposition had demanded one, but the budget session concluded early.
What's your question, Preeti?
No, I'm just asking. So there were multiple protests that your party did across the country, and you asked, do you think the government did not want to go ahead with the debate on price rise?
Okay, so just wanted to make one more thing clear. If you're calling Dr. Zafar, then I'm also a doctor, so just don't forget that.
I'm sorry, ma'am, that's my bad. Dr. Shama Mohamed is also with us right now from the Congress.
Yeah, so the most important thing, now they keep saying that this price rise is because of oil prices around the world. You know, they give us excuses, all right. If it's so, then why the discussion not in Parliament today? They could have just talked about it today and tomorrow, but it went into sign time. They just don't want to discuss it because they themselves know it's a lie. The reason being, one, is that I heard Hardeep S. Puri the other day speak in Parliament saying that the prices of oil, petrol has gone up all over the world, and that is the reason. Now, what he does not tell us is when the price of petrol goes down or oil goes down all around the world, the price also goes down in those countries. But in our country, it does not go down. That is the problem. They have collected 26 lakh crores through these taxes. My simple question to Zafar today is, when the price of petrol was $50 a barrel in 2020, why did you increase the tax from 18 rupees to 34 and 33, petrol 34, diesel 33? That is completely wrong. And the price of, we pay more. So we deregulated it in 2010, petrol, in 2015, diesel, but people continue to pay more. And this is very crucial right now because unemployment is on a very high. We have inflation, which is high. And all these things come together and they continue to, and also very important is, this is not just robbery, but it's also cheating. Dhokha kiya hai janta ke upar, because for 137 days you did not increase. The invasion or the war started on 24th Feb. But why did you increase on the 21st of March? You could have done it the next day when $105 a barrel in on February 26th, 27th, 28th, 1st of March, 2nd. No, because the elections were going on till the 7th. The results were out on the 10th. So this is not just robbery, Preeti. This is dhokha. This is cheating the people of India, because as soon as the results were out and everything was settled in, they started increasing it every day, and that too by 10. Now it's 10 rupees. We're paying 105 in Delhi. Look at the gas price. I mean, I'm talking to people all over. They are saying, madam, we cannot afford it. 1,000 rupees, how do we do this? How do we run a family? I mean, this government has no heart, Preeti. And they keep telling us, where is the white paper of where you've spent this 26 lakh crore? 26 lakh crore. What have you done with it, Zafar?
All right. I want to bring in Dr. Syed Zafar Islam as well. Dr. Zafar Islam, Dr. Mohamed had a very relative and point where she says that in the Parliament you had your own minister, Mr. Puri, who stood up and said that, listen, we are nowhere close to the market trends. And that's correct, because we have raised the prices just about 5% is what Hardeep Puri said where fuel is concerned. But she also has a point, because the other countries brought down their price when the market trend was lower, which we didn't do it.
See, you have to understand the current dynamics, global dynamics. How the fuel prices have gone up, the crude prices have gone up in the international market. Barely in 2 months, prices have gone up by almost 78%. And then you have Ukraine crisis. India, we need to understand, in a situation like this, when you are dealing with COVID, you are dealing with lockdown, and then subsequently with the Ukraine crisis, and the upward pressure and crude prices in the global market, that only suggests that India is not an oil-producing country. And even the other countries which you need to compare, because India is not a small economy now. India is a very big economy, in fact, the 4th largest economy in the world. And in such situation, you need to have enough oil at your supply available for the factory to run, for the country to run. In such situation, the demand is not coming off. There is upward pressure in demand, and the prices have also gone up. So the balancing act has been done by the government, and when the prices have gone up by 78%, the retail prices have not gone up by 78%. That the cushion which the government of India has, which earlier they had excise duty which they had charged.
I want to ask you, Mr. Islam, and I want to bring in, you know, with your permission, I want to bring in Siddharth Zarabi as well, my colleague who's in the studio with me. I want to also ask you, you know, for a common man who really is not attuned to economy, you know, a lot of claims were made of looking at India's interest. Now, if we are buying cheap oil from Russia, then isn't it very different than what the market trends hold? India's story should be different then, no?
From Russia, but how much we are sourcing? Only 1% of our demand. The total demand is huge, and the source we have currently sourced from Russia is only barely 1% of our total consumption. But
can I come in?
I will let him finish, and Dr. Mohammed, right after he finishes, I will come to you, and then I will go to my colleague, Mr. Zarabi. Make your point.
I waited for her to finish, then I'm speaking. Have some patience.
Sir, make your point.
I'm making my point, but if somebody should stop interrupting in between, then there has to be some basic decency not to interrupt.
I'm wasting.
Anyway, all I'm trying to tell you that the prices have gone up by almost 78%. Then your current crisis, there's upward pressure, continue to be upward pressure on oil prices, that's the crude prices. Still, the government of India has not increased the prices to that extent. We are monitoring the situation. We are trying every possible way to ensure that the burden does not go to the common man, but we have to maintain the balance. Everything cannot be retained by the government. Why state government is not cutting VAT? They should first, instead of speaking Shama Mohamed, Dr. Shama Mohamed should speak that why the VAT has not been reduced in the states where the Congress has the government. Of course, slowly they are losing all the government, but as long as they have, for a few months in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, they should at least,
All right, Dr. Zafar Islam, you still didn't answer my question. If you're getting in cheap fuel from Russia, why are we still looking at market trends? Because the other countries are not. But I will come back with that question to Mr. Zarabi as well. But I want to go across to Dr. Shama Mohamed. She wanted to come in for a rebuttal. Go ahead, Ms. Mohamed.
Yeah, so he said it's not 1%. That 1% was in 2020, discounted oil we were buying. Discounted oil at this point, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman has said in Parliament, it's more than 3%. So I still don't understand why we're paying so high. Number two, a very important point is the GST collection of this month. 1,42,000 crore, the highest ever. You know, last month was 1,33,000 crore. It is 26% more than 2021. So we have indirect taxes. Again, the poor have to pay. Remember that these are not direct taxes. So they've collected revenue through indirect taxes. Then he asked me about VAT. Do you know that when the GST thing happened, the states had to surrender 51% of their revenue. Center only surrendered 21%. And you people, the center still does not, there are so many issues where one does not get revenue out of the GST. They prolong it, they say no way. So where does the state get revenue? Why is that you are taxing so much? In 2014, it was $108 a barrel. The Congress government only taxed 9 rupees for petrol and diesel was at 3 rupees. That is what was our tax.
To that.
I'll come to you, sir. Let her finish.
If we could do it, then you can still do it because you just don't care. So you have a GST collection, which you're putting indirect taxes, which the poor are paying. And on top of that, Preeti, the GST tax for cycles is 12%. So a poor can't even buy a cycle. But for diamonds, it's 0.25%. I mean, look at that. So they just don't care. And corporate taxes are cut. So this is a country for the rich now. The poor, we don't care. You can just
I'd like to bring in Mr. Zarabi, and yes, you know, Dr. Zafar Islam, I'll come back to you, but I want to bring in Mr. Zarabi, who would possibly explain, you know, what really is going on right now. You know, one big question I would reckon that Siddharth, that people have right now is this done? Are we done with it because we've touched that 10 rupee mark? Or are we going to be expecting a bigger raise?
Well, if you do the maths, at the current average
price, and I'll try and be as non-technical, of $103 for the Indian basket of crude. The estimate was that it would range the increase from 9 to 12 rupees. Different people have given us different estimates. What has happened since November, when the clock was artificially stopped, and we know the reason for why that clock of daily price movements was stopped, was that crude oil moved from 80 to practically $120 per barrel. It was a 50% increase, and March was bad. That point is well taken because of Ukraine. No one had foreseen really that Russia would invade Ukraine in this manner. But there is a larger question, and we are at the we are now in a new fiscal year, which is the overall management of pricing decisions by our oil marketing companies. This was supposed to be a daily price movement, but we see that increases are passed on, but decreases have not been passed on to the consumers. So it's been a one-way street. The government, when we question them, gives us numbers, and I completely buy that. For example, the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, the food security program, has provided 3.4 lakh crores, 1,003 lakh metric tons. So that argument is fine. But Preeti, the issue really is that oil prices are used by the center and the states as a revenue maximizer.
Right.
And this is the tragedy.
Tell me something as well, and I'll go back to Mr. Islam right now, Dr. Islam right now. It's not just, fuel prices or the LPG or the CNG. For the first time, I would reckon in 60 years, we've been speaking to traders that lemons are retailing at 400 rupees a kilo.
Well, inflation is above the tolerance level of even what the mandate says. It is above 6%. And that is just a statistic. If you go around, inflation is now a significant issue in our economy because of supply side disruptions. Crude oil will add to that. That's why I'm saying, Preeti, very quickly, that we will have to fix the way we price this. You cannot use oil prices, switch them on, switch them off at convenience.
All right, inflation, Dr. Islam, right now, above the tolerable level, which was 6% mandated. So will it be politically correct to say it's intolerance in terms of the inflation skyrocketing?
Thank you, Preeti, and you can address me as Mr. Islam. No need to add a doctor.
Sir, it takes a while. It takes a long while to earn, a doctor before your name. I don't want to insult both of you. I would rather use it for both Dr. Mohamed and you, sir. Go ahead.
All I want to know that I'm not fixated about it. But away from that, Preeti, see, there is upward pressure on inflation. And you know the reason. The oil prices have gone up. Because of the seasonality factor, there is some time upward pressure on fruit, sometimes vegetables, something. But overall, if you see the forecast and the threshold level of 6%, we have barely crossed 3 or 4 times in last 7 years. We have always maintained the inflation, and it is always around 4 handle, or slightly less than 4 handle, or slightly above 4 handle. So overall average for the last 7 years, if you see and compare with the UPA, it used to be 8.7% compared to 4.2%, 4.3%. So that only suggests that we have ensured that the common man on the street does not suffer because of the seasonality factor, because of the disruption in
Dr.
supply
Islam,
chain.
it'd be highly incorrect to say right now that the common man is not suffering.
What a joke is
this? It'd be highly incorrect right now.
I'm not saying that common man, Zafar.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Dr. Mohamed, just let him finish. I'll give him 30 seconds and I'll come back to Dr. Mohamed.
Don't judge Shama Mohamed. Please listen to us. You have always taken recourse to providing subsidy. But we are providing food directly, direct benefit transfer to the common man. You have never done that. We are providing through welfare scheme to every citizen of this country who needed support from the government. We are empowering them. We are providing them every support. Unlike them, So,
all right, sir. You made your point. I want to go.
If you see the budget,
Preeti,
no, if you see the budgetary allocation for the welfare scheme for the poor and marginalized section of the society, it is huge. From there, from where?
Sir, but no. That excuse, sir. Sorry, I don't think the common man who's paying taxes is going to go with that excuse and say because you're providing to the Labharti, you're taking it away from the pockets of the common man.
No. Just a second. Just let me interrupt you.
Sir, okay, I'll come back to you. Okay, Dr. Islam, hold that thought. Dr. Mohammed, you wanted to come in for a rebuttal?
No, what I'm saying is he talks about welfare schemes.
Only
What do you
3%
mean by
people are paying taxes.
4,000?
Okay, sir, I'll come back.
Let everyone pay the taxes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yojana must be 4,000 kisan.
Can I go, sir, with your permission? Can I just go to Dr. Mohammed?
Zafar, now you should show some etiquette. You've been talking about me, so please lower your volume.
I'm responding to Preeti, not you.
Sir. Okay, may I? With both your permission, can I just get Dr. Mohammed on? Yes,
Why
Dr.
are
Mohammed.
you talking about you people don't like welfare schemes? Remember that. That's what Modi said. He insulted Manrega. He said, Manrega is the lifeline of the poor right now. So let's understand one thing, Zafar. These welfare schemes will not even more than 4 lakh crores. Where are we? We are 26 lakh crores. What have you done with the rest of the money? Why are you scared to give the white paper? The other thing you have not yet answered is why did you increase the petrol prices when it was $50 a barrel? Why did you increase the excise duty from 18 to 33 rupees? You are not answering it. When the oil price goes down, you increase it for the people of India. When the oil price goes up, you increase it for the people of India. What have you done for the people of India? Why are you daily butchering them, killing them? This is what you're doing. You're suffocating the people of India. That's what you're doing. Right now, you have to reduce this excise duty because nobody can survive. When diesel prices go up, food prices go up. And as she said, you saw what's the price of lemon. Nobody can live this way. What is this? 1,000 rupees is your gas. And when it was 400, what was Modi saying? When it was 70 rupees? देश को देखो पेट्रोल का दाम बढ़ रहा है डीजल का दाम बढ़ रहा है Where is that Narendra Modi today? I want to see him. I want him to come on TV and tell the people of India.
Okay, Dr. Islam, I know you want to come in. Okay, I want to bring in Siddharth Zarabi back into this conversation.
Where is Narendra Modi?
All right, okay, point taken. Okay, Siddharth Zarabi, I want to bring in Siddharth Zarabi back into this conversation. Siddharth, the fact is, does the government have an inflation plan to tackle inflation? Because it doesn't seem so coming through.
I think the bigger impact of this fuel price increase is going to be felt in second round effects. Very simply, the railways is the largest single buyer of diesel outside of our armed forces. That will get passed on to tickets. What has happened to aviation fuel? You will see ticket prices going up. Our telecom networks use a substantial amount of fuel to power our networks. So beyond what the average man, the Aam Aadmi feels, there is a second round inflation that seeps in due to crude oil. That's why I say this, and without getting into the politics, it is time that the states and centre, Preeti, come together. The Goods and Services Council needs to take it up. I think it's high time India deserves fuel to come under the GST bracket.
May I just give 30 seconds to both our other panelists to wrap up their points? Dr. Islam, would you like to go first, sir?
See, the Honourable Prime Minister is always very sensitive about the people of this country, and he will always ensure that part of the burden, of course, when you have to run the country, part of the burden has to be passed on to the consumer, but most of the burden will be retained by the government of India. That's why prices, while every other country has increased the prices to 78%, 58%, 60%, where in our case it is only 5% in the last 2 years, if you see. But repeatedly she is asking, where is Mr. Modi? Where is Mr. Modi? Let me tell you, Mster Modi lives in the heart of the people of this great country.
All right, okay, let's, okay.
Remember that. And
on that line, can I toss? I have 30 seconds, sir. I gave you 30. I want to give 30 to Ms. Dr. Mohammed. Go ahead.
We have not increased the prices like the rest. The rest of the countries, the chart which you're not showing is the rest of the countries, their tax is around 68%. Ours is 200%. Why don't you tell that, Zafar, out? There is another table where the tax is. That's why today Zafar Islam, Narendra Modi has not told the people of India why they do not reduce the prices when oil prices go down. They increase excise duty from 8 to 30. You are robbing and cheating the people of India. Why didn't you raise the tax?
Okay, may I bow out of this debate? Thank you, our panelists, for joining us. Thank you, Siddharth. The politics can go on, but ultimately it is the common man who's paying the price, and the price is very, very heavy. And it's not just fuel. It's not just the LPG cylinder. It's as little as the that one lemon that you buy this summer to make lemonade, which really isn't possible, is it? A quick break. Up next is my colleague Shivarur.